Namaskar. Welcome to the example videos on the professional prospects. Before proceeding further on watching the example videos, kindly complete the previous videos on the rules and important points in respective to the professional prospects. So kindly go through that, then you come to these example charts. In this series of example charts, I will be discussing on many example with the job prospects and also business prospects. I'll be taking few examples in explaining you the important points. Some rules I would have said in the theory and also in the previous videos, which are the rules or some important rules which I can explain with some example that can be more useful for you to understand the example, that rules. So for that, I would have taken some examples explaining on the some important rules and points, and some examples I would have taken in different parts, so that the career of the person would have experienced many ups and downs and many challenges or change of profession. Those things and also I have taken in a detailed manner. So some videos will be in small duration and short duration, and some videos will be in longer duration according to the explanation. So each and every video will have, any example will have some sort of information which you can learn from that. So kindly go through that carefully. And in this example, example number 1, so wherein I'm going to explain one male native birth chart, who is basically a mechanical engineer, and but he has completed CA also, and he joined his first job in a mechanical engineer private company, but as a not as a mechanical engineer, but as the in the administration as a chartered accountant. So he has joined his job as in the accountancy, rather I can say that way. So in that, if you see the periods, normally we'll be taking the signification of planets which can favor for the natives to join a job: 2, 6, 10, or 11. If the dasa bhukti antras signifying these houses, that native will join during that period. Destiny also the same way only, right? But if there are significators of the 2 or 6 or 10 or 11, or also unfavorable signification of the fifth house or ninth house are present, that is becoming weak. That is the general rule as per KP I'm talking about. But the fifth house, as I already said in the previous videos also, the impact of the fifth house when it is connected to 8th house or 12th house is different, or when it is connected to 11th house or other favorable houses are different. So 5th alone, we cannot take it as unfavorable. 9 alone, we cannot take it as unfavorable. Only grouping of other unfavorable houses, especially to the Lagna, only make that 5th house is unfavorable. So in this chart, you can see the native join in, say, Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Bugdi, and Venus Antra, he got the job. If you look at the signification of the Jupiter and especially the Venus Antra, that Venus in the own nakshatra of the planet, if you look at that Venus, it is occupying the 5th house. 5 planet is 5, star lord is also 5, and 12 level also 5, and I think sublord also 5 only. But ownership only it has got 11th house, because the Venus is 4th lord, 11th lord. But sublord is, I think, 2nd lord. So it is, if you look at the cuspal lordship, if you look at the fourfold significator, it is restricted only with the planet and star level. It is talking about 4, 11, and 5 only as the secondary significator. It means it is not the primary. It is the primary house of 5th house because it is occupying 5th house in its own star. 4, 11 houses are secondary. So 4, 11 is fine, but 5 is not good. It is not talking about any 6th house or 10th house, but during that period, he joined the job. Normally, when 5 is coming along with the 11, so we can also think, okay, it can cause for change of job. That is not the case. He joined the job during that period. Why? Because that is incomplete self-signification study, and also the support planets influence. All these things we have to consider. Without that, just if you look at only the self-signification restricted to cuspal lordship and occupying house, then we'll not be able to come to a conclusion whether that planet can favor for the event. We can justify, yes, Venus is supportive, 4, 11, 5 also there, 4, 11 is there, now sublord is second house there, it can favor. But we cannot say that Venus Antra can favor for joining the job because it is strong signature of fifth house. So 5 alone is not the concern, right? It has to be studied in an extended way, that we have to see that. That is what I am going to explain in this example. Let us go and check the example. Example number 1, event 5, professional prospects. In this example, as I was telling, that we are going to study in which period the native joined his first job, and that is job joining period, and importantly, the importance of complete self-signification of each planet, and the fifth house impact. So these things we are going to study in this example. Now let us examine the birth chart. This is the birth chart of that boy, born on 3rd January 1994, 8:28 p.m. in Uttar Pradesh. So we have to study the self-significations and the destiny and the Dasa Bhuktī periods, right? Before that, let us examine the general study as per the rule. The first step, we have to do the general study on the birth chart. Lagna is falling in the sign of Cancer. 10th cusp is falling in the sign of Aries. Let me open the North Indian chart for the benefit of the North Indian chart followers. Let me keep it here. Let me continue. The 10th cusp is falling in the sign of Aries, ruled by Mars as the Rasi Lord, falling in the star of Bharani Nakshatra, ruled by Venus, and sub-lord is Mercury. So Mars, Venus, and Mercury. Look at the grouping of the planets, their Karagatva. This native is basically a mechanical engineer and also into chartered accountancy. Mars, Venus, and Mercury. You can see the grouping of these planets, their Karagatva, that is supportive for that. So what I'm trying to say, the grouping of these Karagatva of the rulers will be indicating the possible combination of the profession. So that is also matching to the type of profession the native into. But not only this one, their self-signification, their star lord, sublord, Karagatva planet, and not sublord, but planet and star lord and Rasi lord, their Graha Karagatva, Bhava Karagatva combination will indicate the type of profession. Okay, anyway. Now, 10th lord is Mars. Where is Mars posted? Mars is posted in the sign of Jupiter, Sagittarius. It is conjoined with the Venus, Mercury, and Sun. All the planets are closely conjoined. So Mars is 5th lord, 10th lord, occupying 5th house as per degree. Though in Sagittarius, it is in the 5th house. Conjoined with the 4th lord, 11th lord, Venus. And also conjoined with the 3rd lord, 12th lord, Mercury. And also conjoined with the 2nd lord. So the 10th lord planet Mars is conjoined with the 4th lord, 11th lord, and 3rd lord, 12th lord, and 2nd lord. 2, 3, 4, 11, all the good houses owners are conjoined with the Mars, and also that Mars is 10th Lord and 5th Lord. So it has got 5 and 10 also, 4, 11, 3, 12, 12. I mean, second combinations, second house combinations all are present. Favorable grouping are strongly present along with the 12th house. So Mars is well posted in the sign of Jupiter. That Jupiter is posted in the third house in the sign of Venus. Venus and Jupiter are in sign exchange. So the influence of the Jupiter will be significant on the 10th Lord. And Jupiter also aspecting to the 10th house. So that 10th house is not, 10th house is aspected by Jupiter, and 10th Lord also in the sign of Jupiter, and well connected to the Jupiter, Venus, Mercury, Sun, the good Karagatva planets are all supporting to the 10th house, and also with the 2, 3, 4, 11, I mean, second house grouping. They are supportive for the mechanical engineer also, because Mars and Venus, Sun are present, and also he is into the, I mean, accountants. You can see Mercury, Mars, and Sun, they are all present. So he is into accountancy in the field of, in the sector of, I mean, what do you call, mechanical engineering sector, I mean, in the companies. Okay, now the point is, this is not occupying 6th house. This is occupying 5th house, right? Whenever we are talking about 5th house, we are always thinking of 12th house to the 6th house and 8th house to the 10th house. So though this is not good for the 12th house and 8th house, 6th not only the job, 6th also it is indicating physical work and worries. But 5 is free from worries or free from physical work. 5 is using the brain, intelligence, and creativity, administrative skill. In natural zodiac, 5, we have to consider about our sun. So what sun is the king is, having, experiencing, that we can take it. I was explaining in the previous parts, I have explained about this also well. Still, I like to repeat here. 5 is, though it is not good to the 6th house, but 5 is Puro Punya, and also 5th house is lack of worries and lack of physical work. And it is 8th house to the 10th house. It is indicating some sort of obstacles to the 10th house, but 5 alone will not be unfavorable. But 5, if it is connected to the 8th house or 12th house, or combinedly if they are connecting, this grouping is unfavorable. Unfavorable house to the profession in general can become more unfavorable or become unfavorable only when it is connected to the trouble living houses to the Lagna. Instead of that, 5 is connected to the 11th house. No 8th house or 12th house are present. 11 is present, 2 is present, 10 is present, 6 is present, 3rd house is present. They are all supportive to the 5th house. So it is 5th house will be supportive house for the profession. His work nature will be like that. So that way we have to take it. I think you are able to understand. 5 alone will not be unfavorable. That you have to keep it in mind. Suppose instead of these planets are occupying 5th house, it is occupying 6th house. Then it can be supportive for the native. Can be in the mechanical engineering itself, right? Because it is talking about he will be in the field. So he will be working as an engineer and doing it. But as he's an administrative person and he's in accountancy, he'll be sitting in the room and doing the work. Only his brain, his knowledge will be used for the benefit of the company, because 5th house is beneficial to the opposite person or the employer. Okay, so now this grouping is favorable, and we have seen that what is the role of the 5th house also. So now let us check the complete self-signification of the all the planets. Let me clear this, and I have selected already even the professions, all jobs. Let me let us not spend time on giving the colors to the each planet. That we will do in the other example charts whenever it is required. Now let us focus on the self signification. Without the color itself we can check. Let me open that self-significations. Let me keep it here, and you can study these self-significations. Look for the unfavorable key planets. I was telling, look for the unfavorable key planets of in the self-significations. Look for the unfavorable means 8th house, 12th house grouping, which is unfavorable to the Lagna. 5th house, along with that 8 or 12, it is present, it is going to be unfavorable, right? Similarly, 8, 9, 8, and 12. They are all unfavorable to the job prospects or professional prospect. 8 and 12 alone is there, it is going to be unfavorable to the Lagna, trouble giving houses to the Lagna. Apart from that, if they are favorable grouping also there, accordingly, the impact of the unfavorable will be there. Now you can see Ketu is occupying 10th house. Good. Second planet Venus, 4th lord, 11th lord occupying 5th house. 4, 11, 5. That was I was telling. The native joined the job in Venus Santra. I was telling. Na? Look at the Venus. 4th lord, 11th lord. This is fine. Occupying 5th house. If you stop with this alone, Ketu second planet is Venus. If you take Venus also straight away, Venus is 4th lord, 11th lord occupying 5th house. Occupying 5th house, 11, 4th lord occupying 5th house is good, and 11 is occupying 5th house also good. They are all supportive to each other. But 5 can unfavorable, impact of that 5 can be there only in the subsequent levels. If it is 8th house or 12th house are joining, and then 5 will get the support on the unfavorable side. But if you look at here, if you just CLOCC alone, it is not good. Look at the CST, it is 2 and 10 cuspal star lord. That Venus is cuspal star lord owner for second cusp and also 10th cusp. So now the 5 is moving towards this karma trikon. So that natives, profession, I'm moving, through the 4th lord, 11th lord occupying 5th house and 2 and 10 cuspal star lord. This is favorable. 5 is getting support of the 2 and 10 and sublord for 3rd house and 12th house. 12 is indicating some weakness, but 3rd house is favorable for the Lagna's activities and service for the, communication and service. That is all good. Venus 4, 11, 5, 2 and 10 and 3. 12 indicating some sort of weakness. That's all. So we cannot come to a conclusion that what is the impact of the 12 will be, but it is having some weakness, but not detrimental. So that Venus is going to be a favorable one because 4, 11 and 5, 2, 10 star lord and 3rd cuspal sublord and some weakness there at the 12th cuspal sublord. So if you look at Venus signification, it is only 4, 11 and 5. If you take as per EPS, the extended signification, it is 2 and 10 cuspal star lord and 3rd cuspal sublord. This is favorable. Good house grouping. So 4, 11, 5, 2, 10, 11, 3 are good only. You understand? So that way, Venus signification, if you take 4, 11, and 5, that is going to be incomplete. If you extend, then you'll have the complete signification on the self-significations. One more point also. In EPS, we take whenever that Rasi Lord of a node is being considered, that node also is considered in EPS. Normally in KP, if you take Ketu, Rasi Lord Venus will be considered. If you take Rahu, Rasi Lord Mars will be considered as a supportive planet. But in EPS, other than these Rahu's Rasi Lord and Ketu's Rasi Lord, whenever the Rasi Lord of that Rahu or Ketu are taken, their Rahu and Ketu signification also are taken as a secondary planet. So you can see Venus is representing Ketu. Why? If you look at the natal chart, Ketu is in the sign of Venus. So that Venus is favorable. We already discussed that Ketu is occupying the 10th house. Though it is in the sign of Venus, but is in the 10th house. So Venus is getting the support of the Ketu, 10th house. That too, Ketu is a free planet. So influence will be significant. So Venus, which is not having 10,000 CL or OC, it is getting through the Ketu, and also it is having 2 and 10 cuspal star lord. So this grouping is very good, favorable for the Venus, right? So that way we can say that Venus is, though it is occupying 5th house, it is having favorable grouping 4, 11. 5 is also supportive for the nature of profession, and 11 will be supported by 5. I mean, 4 is supported by 5, and because it is not talking about any physical work, it is talking about the Lagna will have creativity and use his knowledge and doing it, right? So that Venus is fine. And Sun, second lord occupying 5th house, and 6th star lord and 9th sublord. This is occupying 9th house and 9th sublord. Though 5 and 9 are 12th house to the 6 and 10, but here they are not completely unfavorable, because this is second lord occupying 5th house, moving towards 6th star lord. It is supportive for the profession and 9th sublord. So this has got some weakness. There is no doubt. Yes, it has got some weakness. Instead of 9, if it was 10, how would have been? Right? So instead of 9, it is having 11th house, how would have been? That would have been better, right? So when you compare that, it is having some weakness, but not detrimental. I think you're able to understand. Moon, Lagna Lord, second occupant, third cuspal star Lord, and sixth sublord. This is very good, right? All houses are good. And Mars is fifth Lord and 10th Lord occupying fifth house. That's what we are talking. 10th Lord of Mars is also fifth Lord, occupying fifth house, 5 occupying 5, 10 occupying 5. 10 occupying 5 is 8th house to the 10th house, some obstacles. 5 occupying 5, so 5th house, 5 and 10 mean the profession connected to the 5th house will be supportive. Occupying 5th house, supportive to the 5th house, still it is having some weakness. That impact of the 5th house will be known only in the extended signification. You can look at that Mars is 7 and 11 cuspal star lord. It is not having 8 and 12 cuspal star lord. Suppose 8 and 12 is there, suppose that Mars is cuspal star lord for 8th house and 12th house. 5 will join hands with 8 and 12. 5th lord, 10th lord occupying 5th house, and 8 and 12 star lord, the unfavorable grouping will increase. 10th house matters will get some obstacles strongly. Now it is not that way. It is not the 8 and 12 star lord. It is 7 and 11 cuspal star lord. This is favorable. So 5, 10, 5 moving towards 7 and 10, supporting to the 5th house. 3rd house to the 5th house and 11th house, favorable to the Lagna. So that way only we have to study the self-significations. Rahu occupying 4th house, and second planet Mars itself, it is supportive. And Jupiter, look at Jupiter is 6th lord, 9th lord occupying 3rd house. 9th house is, it is 10th, 12th house to the 10th house. But being the 6th lord and also 9th lord, it is not bad. It is supportive. And occupying 3rd house means 9th lord occupying 3rd house, supportive for the 9th house. 9 and 3 are balancing. 6, 9, 3 are supportive for the profession connected to the, communication, service, because 3rd house. And here comes the problem. Star Lord for 4 is fine, and 8 and 12. So it is indicating 6, 9, 3 moving towards 8 and 12. It means that planet, it is experiencing some obstacles on the way. 6, 9, 3, 4, 8 and 12. Now look at the CSL, what it is going to support, whether 8 and 12 further supported by the CSL on the unfavorable side, or favorable houses are going to reduce the unfavorable significations of the CST. 1, 5, 7, 11 cuspal sublord. 5 is unfavorable in general, but 5 is not becoming unfavorable here. Lagna Lord, Lagna sublord, 5th sublord, 7th sublord, 11th sublord, all are favorable to the Lagna and also the professional prospects. 6th Lord, 9th Lord occupying 3rd house, despite some obstacles, Definitely it is indicating some obstacles, hurdles, but 1, 5, 7, 11 cuspal sublord is good. So the method of analyzing self-signification is important. Only way of studying each planet left to right, then only we can identify the total signification strength. Then Saturn, seventh lord, eighth lord occupying 7. This is eighth house is obstacle causing, 7 is not unfavorable, occupying 7 is 12th house to the eighth house. It is not that much unfavorable, but obstacle is there. And 2 and 8 cuspal sublord. Second house is fine, eighth sublord is obstacles, and for the money it is not good. Second house is our money, eighth house is opposite person's money. So that Saturn is not having favorable grouping of the 6, 2, 6, 10, and 11, but second house is only there. 8 and 8 is there, 7 and 7 are there. It is having supportive signification, but also indicating some obstacles, right? And Mercury, third lord, 12th lord occupying 5th house. Third lord, 12th lord occupying 5th house, 1, 5, 9 star lord, and 4 and 10 cuspal sublord. You can see here the planet is third lord and 4 and 10 cuspal sublord. Mercury planet, the Karaka planet for the communication, calculations, analytical things. That planet is occupying the 5th house. Third house to the third house. 5th house is supportive to his knowledge and the thought process. And being the 12th lord, it has got some weakness. But we can say 12th house is, we can say it is third lord or 12th lord. It is taking that, secrets. 12th house is hidden. But 1, 5, 9 star lord, this is supported to the 3 and 5 and also to the Lagna. This is not a strong progressive houses for the profession, because 2, 6, 10 are the Karma Trikan, 1, 5, 9 or 12th house to this 2, 6, 10, but they are all favorable to the Lagna. They are not unfavorable to the event also. It is indicating some weakness, but cannot be detrimental to the profession, unless and otherwise they are joining hands with the 8th house or 12th house. Now what happened? Third lord occupying 5th house and 1, 5, 9 star lord are supportive to the Lagna and also Mercury's activities. And moving towards 4 and 10 cuspal sublord. It is the owner for the 4th house and 10th house cuspal sublordship, authority planet for the destiny planet. Itself is having 3, 5, 1, 5, 9. It is talking about the Karaka planet Mercury. It is holding the thought process, creativity, favorable to the Lagna, and no, physical work strongly involved. And 4 and 10, it has got the authority planet. It is favorable for the Lagnas for the professional prospects. Of course, these 12th house and 5th house and 5 and 9, definitely they have some weakness within them. For the progress, when 12 is connected and 5 and 9 are repeated, it is not so good for the 2, like 2, 16. So there will be some weakness, provided these planets are in the star of 8 and 12 significator. You understand? But 8 and 12 will support to these 12 and 5, all these things. You can understand. So only that way only we can see that. But otherwise, Mercury, though it is having 12 and 5 and 1, 3, 1, 5, 9, it is not detrimental. Only that one you have to keep it in mind. 5 is not completely, it is not indicating unfavorable. When it is connected to third house, 3 and 5 are favorable to the third house. 3 and 9, when 9 is coming, where third is coming, it is going to balance. It is supportive for the communication. It is supportive for the long travel or communicate. Suppose the person is into IT and all, 3 and 9 are going to be favorable. Third house and ninth house are going to balance each other. And marketing, all these things, third house, ninth house are important. Third house is an important house for the Lagna and also for the professional prospects. Similarly, 7th house and 11th house. These 3, 7, 11 karma trikon. What is this karma? Trikon 3, 7, 11 is kama trikon. This kama trikon is always good to the Lagna for both the personal and the professional life. That you have to keep it in mind. And 1, 5, 9 is in general good to the Lagna prospects, and when it is connected to the favorable 2, 6, 10 or that 10th house, it is going to be favorable for the profession also. I think you're able to understand these points. So we have studied all the 9 planet self-significations, and I think you are able to understand, and we could see that Jupiter has got these 8 and 12, and unfavorable houses are present along with the strong favorable. And as I said, 9 supported by 3, it is not unfavorable. 8 and 12 star lord and 1, 5. This is also not unfavorable because 1, 5, 7, 11. But 8 and 12 CST is present. So it is indicating some weakness, some obstacles are there. And Mercury also 12 and 5, it is not also not detrimental or unfavorable. Saturn is 8th lord and also 8th sublord. That is indicating some obstacles are indicated by the Saturn. So, but all other planets are having 5th house or 9th house in their self-signification, but without unfavorable grouping, but with the favorable grouping. So, they are all supportive or favorable to the event and also to the Lagna. I think we're able to understand. So, now let us check the destiny planet. Destiny is, for example, if you take 10th sublord Mercury, Mercury planet in the star of Venus, Venus is favorable, right? 4, 11, 5, 2 and 10 and 3 and 2. Only this one is indicating some obstacles, we can say that. But this is supportive for the 4, 11, 5, 2 and 10 and 3 is supportive for the type of profession. And you can see Mercury and Venus, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Sun are conjoined in the sign of Sun. Sun and Venus are also sign exchange. Venus is conjoined with the Mercury, Sun, and Mercury, Sun, and Mars, and sign exchange with the Jupiter. So we already discussed all are favorable only with some weakness. That's all. And 2A level is Venus, sublord is Rahu representing Mars. That is also favorable, right? And so that you can see no unfavorable grouping are present. Even Saturn is only at the last level. That way, the destiny is supportive for the profession, I mean, for the native. Favorable key planets in the destiny is that Mercury, it is 10th sublord with some weakness, but it is favorable key planet. And Venus is the strong favorable key planet. 4, 11, 2, 10, and 3. Sorry, 4, 11, 5, 2, 10, 3, and representing Moon. Despite it is got 12th house, it is the favorable key planets, Venus and Rahu. These are the favorable key planets of the destiny. Now look at the Dasa Lord. That native was running Jupiter Magadasa. Sorry, Rahu Magadasa. Check the Rahu Magadasa. Yes, Rahu is on top. Rahu itself in the star of Saturn. Saturn is 7, 8, 7, 2 and 8. It is indicating supportive with some obstacles. But 4th occupant in the star of this one. So this is indicating no unfavorable grouping or present, no favorable primary houses are experiencing this 8th house also in the star level. 2A level planet is Mars, that already we discussed. Mars is, is a favorable key planet. Mars represents Rahu itself. And importantly, Mercury is the sublord planet. Mercury is having 3, 12, 5. That already we discussed. If you look at the Dasa Lord is source is fine, star level having some mixed, and 2A level is also supportive, and sublord also favorable along with this 12 and 5. You can see here star level 8 and 8, 2A level is 5 and 5. I am focusing only on unfavorable grouping. 8 lord and 8 sublord, 5 and 5, and 12, 5 and 1, 5, 5, 9, 12 and 5. You can see each level has got the unfavorable houses, but grouping is found 5th house, 8th house, and 12th house and 9th house grouping are present at the planet level, star level, sub level, 2 level. If you study that, this grouping is coming, it is indicating forming of unfavorable at the combined levels. Though individually they are not unfavorable, but they are having that such grouping, it will indicate some weakness for sure. Similarly, on the favorable side also, favorable houses are present. Now, the Mercury planet, which is the Dasa Lords, some mixed key planet, that is Dasa Lord, I mean destiny planet itself has got some weakness, which is further supporting to the star lord's weakness. That Mercury is conjoined with all the planets, so Mercury is forming a ruler link to the Venus, and Mars also connected to Mercury. No, Mars is conjoined with Mercury. Mars connected, automatically Rahu will get this indication. I mean that ruler's link. So that way the Mercury is impacting all the planets also. That way it is indicating supportive for professional prospect with some sort of hurdles, we can say that. Some sort of instability it is indicated, we can say that. Now, destiny's favorable key planet Venus is playing role here. Venus is only at the last level, but Venus is playing role for the support of this planet, because Mercury is conjoined with the Venus, and Rahu representing Mars is conjoined with Venus. Venus, favorable key planet of the destiny, is playing role in the support of this Dasa Lord. And unfavorable or mixed key planet, or some with some mixed significations, not detrimental, that Mercury is playing a role at this sublord. So it is indicating some weakness is being there, it is there for Dasa Lord along with that favorable, right? Now in Ragu Dasa, he was running at the time of joining the job, he was running Jupiter Bhukti. Jupiter is having this 8 and 12 grouping, and being the sixth lord, it is got favorable also and some obstacles also, and favorable CSL. In the star of Rahu, Sabba, Venus and Venus. So these Rahu, Venus, they are the favorable key planets of the Dasa Lord also, and also destiny planet. Venus is playing role here at the last level in the Dasa Lord, and Venus is playing role for Rahu in the supports. I mean, and in the support of these Dasa Lord, Venus is there in supports also, forming ruler link, because Venus is playing one of the level, and that Venus itself is playing at the sublord and star lord of the sublord, and also forming ruler link to the Jupiter, because Jupiter is sign exchange with the Venus. So Venus, strong favorable key planet, is connected to the Jupiter, and star lord Rahu, sublord itself is Venus, so forming ruler link also. Star lord also getting the ruler link from Venus, because Mars represent Rahu representing Mars. Mars is conjoined with the Venus. That way, Jupiter is supportive and connected to the Dasa Lord's favorable key planet. Rahu itself is playing role at the star lord of the Jupiter. Right now, which Antra I said is the native god joined the job in the Venus Antra. If you look at the Venus Antra, if you look at the Venus Antra alone, if you check it, Venus is in one nakshatra, 12 level, all Venus. Sublord is Sun, is second lord occupying fifth house, and star lord of the sublord is Venus. If you look at the cuspal lordship, are favorable, 411, 411, 411, 2, 411. But in the OCC, 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. So we will not be able to understand whether 5 is going to be favorable or unfavorable. Okay, even if it is 4, 11, 5 is supportive only, not detrimental. But we cannot see whether how come Venus can be favorable for the native to join the job during that Venus Antra. Right? It can be significator of occupant of the, because planet in the star of your planet, that planet is occupant of the second house or sixth house or 10th house or 11th house, will be more stronger. But here the problem is the two things, as I was explaining. Venus is CST for 2 and 10 and third cuspal sublord, and same way all things. And second planet Ketu is having 10th house, no other unfavorable grouping. And sublord is Sun. That Sun is second lord occupying fifth house, sixth star lord. This is also supportive to the 2, 10. No, this grouping, karma trikon is formed. And ninth sublord, it is indicating some weakness, but supported to the third house. And it is this 2, 5, 6 is supported, further supported by the star lord of the sublord Venus, favorable key planet. And Sun and Venus are all conjoined. And Venus is sign exchange with the Bhukti lord Jupiter. So the Jupiter, Buddhi Lord's favorable key planet, Rahu and Venus, that Venus is strongly playing role at all levels, and that Jupiter is playing role as the support planet to the Venus. And what is the role of Rahu, Mars? That Mars is also conjoined with the Venus. The favorable key planet of the Buddhi Lord, that is Rahu, is not directly playing as the ruler. But as I was telling that favorable key planet of the Buddhi Lord Rahu is playing role in support to the Buddhi, the Antara Lord. Because Venus is having that Jupiter in supports. How Venus is conjoined with the which planet? Just a minute, let me move this birth chart. Venus is conjoined with the Mars. Venus is conjoined with the Mars. That Mars is represented by Rahu. So Rahu getting the influence of the Venus. So Venus getting the Rahu in supports. So that way that support planets also will support. The key planet of the Buddhi Lord is there in the support, and other key planets of the Buddhi Lord is playing one of the ruler itself. All the rulers, planet, star level, 2A level, favorable key planet Venus is playing role directly, and the other favorable key planet Rahu is there in supports. That way it is good, and moreover they are not having any unfavorable grouping. So understand. So because of that, the native joined the job during that Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Buddhi and Venus Antra. So the favorable key planet of the destiny and Dasa Buddhi period, that is Venus. Destiny favorable key planet is Venus and also Rahu. That the destiny key planets is playing role in the Dasa Lord itself. Dasa Lord directly playing and also in supports. And Buddhi Lord, it is playing role at Dasa star level and sub level. And that Rahu and Venus in the Antra, it is playing role is the ruler. And for the Venus is playing as the ruler and Rahu is playing in the supports. So that way their connection is also there. And look at the planet to star level combined levels. If you study, they are all favorable, though it is having fifth house, because CST there, this grouping is strongly favorable. This self-signification study is complete only when we take the CST and CSL, and also the second planet strain, that is going to be secondary, and the other planet in supports, that we have to take into consideration. So I think you are able to understand how this native got the first job under the Rahu Dasa, Jupiter Buddhi and Venus Antra, though that Venus is strong significator of fifth house, and because 5 alone is not unfavorable, and here in this case 5 is further supported by the second house, 10th house and 11th house, which are all favorable for the natives type of profession. So the self-signification study is important. Complete signification 5 is further supported by 8 and 12 are supported by favorable houses, and also the importance of the key planets and importance of those key planets in the rulers and also in supports in the Dasa Buddhi period. I think you are able to understand. We'll meet in the next example. Good luck.